Saturday night, unfortunately, there was another mass shooting at a large university, Michigan State, in fact, and man, at least they know who the gunman is, mostly because he, kind of took himself out at the scene, and there's enough information to at least provide some sort of a primer on the situation, and as for motive, I'm not entirely sure about it. At least at this point in time, we might be able to glean a little bit more once we do some digging that's out there, but leave it up to Joe Scarborough of Morning Joe over at NBC in order to figure out why exactly this gunman decided to kill 3 innocent people. It's the Republican Party. What the fuck is going on? That has absolutely nothing to do with anything. The Republican Party allowing mass shootings to happen in America. At least the Republican Party, for as big of cucks as they actually are, they want to find a solution. Armed teachers? Well, you take a look at your average teacher. Do you really want them possessing a gun? Mostly because they're, kind of overly medicated, certainly ideologically driven to a very large extent. They would be more likely to use it to scratch their uvula at the back of their throat as opposed to defend their classroom in the case of an incident such as this. But also, this happened late at night as well, and if you had armed security guards on campus, don't know if this necessarily would have been stopped or anything like that, but these are all things that the Republican Party has posited as reasonable solutions to end these types of tragedies, because the only person that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. But no. What does the left want to do? Well, we just need to take guns out of the hands of good law-abiding citizens, because if you have fewer legal guns, well, that just means only the criminals will have guns, and the people who commit crimes are the murder. Oh, wait, no, it's almost like all of this stuff just kind of falls apart. I don't even know how you get to this situation, okay? Mostly because, actually, it does kind of make some sense. But we'll just have this preamble before we get to the rest of it. MSNBC host Joe Scarborough said Tuesday on his Morning Joe show that Republican Party is to blame for the mass shootings while reacting to a mass shooting in East Lansing, Michigan, on the campus of Michigan State University. Michigan, of all places, huh? Maybe they're just stir crazy by that Republican. Oh, no, wait, Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah, that governor who locked everybody up and just told them that, no, you need to stay inside while me and my husband go out on the yacht on Lake Huron, I think she opened up. Interesting. Scarborough said, what's wrong with the country? More specifically, what's wrong with the state legislatures? Oh, the state legislatures. Oh, what's wrong with the governors? What's wrong with the members of Congress? Well, if you want to talk specifically about this shooting right here, I think maybe the legislature in Michigan is Republican controlled, but the governor is very, 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 very much so a Democrat, and is probably, don't be surprised if you see her run for office in 28 or 32. She is that delusional because, if Gavin Newsom's being groomed for it, you better believe the Wicked Witch of East Lansing is going to be putting her broom into the next mix. What's wrong with the members of Congress? What's wrong with the elected leaders? Oh my God, won't somebody please think of the children? Won't somebody else solve all of our problems? Could you imagine being a man and externalizing your problems like this? Oh, that's my fault right there. I assumed that anybody who works for MSNBC who stands up when they take a piss is actually a man. They don't do everything that they can to stop mass shootings in America. Oh, why don't we just criminalize murder and shooting at random people? This does not happen in other industrialized nations. No, you're right, because you can take a look at UK. Not very much gun crime, and when it does happen, it's awfully horrific, and it does make the headlines. But what do they have? Oh, a stabbing epidemic. So we would just go from just sensible, reasonable gun control to why do you need an 8-inch long butcher knife? They got those at the butcher shop. Like, what are you even doing? Scarborough said, it's not about mental health. It's not just about mental health. Oh, I thought he would be so bold, but that was just my mistake. It's not about video games. Who's bringing up everything that it's not about? It's not about pillows and blankets and genuine burning desire from your wife. Just things that are just not at all related to Joe Scarborough's life. It's not about any of the things that the apologists for the gun lobby say that it is. This is about guns and the proliferation of guns. The continued proliferation of guns. Okay, and do you not think the Democrats have guns? Hell, I would say that most of the guns, most of the shootings that happen in the inner cities are committed by people who vote for the Democratic Party. And if you ban more guns, do you think that those guns would go out of those guys' hands? Interesting. Oh, he continued. 90%. Oh my God. Oh, we got stats out here. You love a good randomly pulled stat, right? 90% of Americans support universal background checks. Oh, those things that are already in place. All right, bet. But the people stopping that, they'd rather talk about the 3 trans athletes in Utah. Those two things can happen at the same time, you false equivalating dick. Or they'd rather talk about the 0.003% of people actually dying from the coup. Of the population that's driving them crazy. No, that's you guys running with that stuff all the time. Trans lives matter. Trans women are women. Which side of the divide is constantly pushing that issue? I'm just wondering. They'd rather talk about gas stoves. Yeah, that your party's trying to ban. They'd rather talk about Dr. Seuss. They're always trying to find a distraction instead of talking about the fact that we have mass shootings every day and our children can't go to school safely without worrying about being shot. Yo, this guy has no idea that this happened in the dead of night and on Monday. How many classes are happening at that point in time? And how many young babies going to school about being worrying about being shot? How many babies were shot in University of Michigan? Maybe a couple of babies were prevented from being conceived. I'm just wondering about that because, it is a university campus after all, and those folks be fucking. Scarborough added, there's just no other way to put it. It's the Republican Party that's allowing this to continue to happen in America. Wait a minute. They only have control of the House, right? I don't even know what's going on here. And if this is supposedly such a big problem, why do you guys continue to have the same talking points foisted out every single time something like this happens, only for them to be immediately rebuked? That's the word I was looking for. Anyways, let me say, as you look at all those haunted faces, it's the Republican Party. Yo, the one elected official that looks most like the ghost or a haunted figure, yeah, he's that shambling corpse that, is led out of the Oval Office. So none of your story is making sense. It's the Republican Party that allows the gun culture to spread. Gun culture. Oh my God, like rape culture, like incel culture. Oh my God, you guys, you're just so lame. To spread. We have mass shootings every single day. Well, why don't you talk about the ones that happen every single weekend in Chicago where 100+ shootings end up happening and 12 people are dead? Oh, you don't want to talk about it because, that's a little bit of a prickly talking point. And that's why you won't directly address what happened on this campus of Michigan State. I will, though, and we'll actually get to what happened there. The 3 Michigan State University students killed in the on-campus mass shooting Monday night have been identified. 2 victims from the same town. Oh man, Alexandria Verner of Clawson, Michigan, was identified in a statement from her hometown school district, which was described as a tremendous student. 2020 graduate of Clawson High School, Verner is remembered by her alma mater as a tremendous student athlete and a leader who exemplifies kindness. If you know Alex, you loved her, and you will forever be remembered for the lasting impact she had on all of us, the statement read, according to her LinkedIn profile. She's not a sophomore in college? Jeez, okay. Verner was studying integrated biology and anthropology at MSU. Sort of useful. And was set to graduate in 2024. Yeah, with a bachelor's degree. We can do numbers. She graduated high school in 2020. Okay, she'd graduate in 2024. Michigan State University Department of Police and Public Safety confirmed that Brian Fraser, I think we know of the pictures that are there. We can figure out which one's Brian. Sophomore who graduated in 2021 from Michigan's Pros Point South High School. She needs to have a longer title for that high school. Okay, to be fair, though, I went to Grand Prairie Composite High School. No, it's actually shorter than that. Was also killed shortly after Verner's death was announced Tuesday. Yo, that sucks, man. Yo, man, it's a tremendous loss. Okay, so, yeah, we got Brian Fraser, Arielle Diamond Anderson right there, and then we got Cheyenne Woodley. Oh, I'm sorry, Alexandria. Oh, that's a good girl who's out there studying, or at least was studying, integrated biology. Yeah, that sucks, man. But you know why? You know why media's not talking about it? That's the guy who did it. I've seen some videos of this guy stalking and running through the halls, and it's like, we got video of the suspect. Why don't you want to name him? Why don't you want to address him? Why don't you want to describe him? because it's a little bit too inconvenient. No, it's those dastardly Republicans not pushing enough gun control. Okay. Fraser's social media indicates that he was studying business and had previously served as a head lifeguard at the Detroit area country club. That's our guy right there. Just every white guy from a stock image catalog. Nothing against him. He got shot dead and nobody deserves that, but we need to have some sort of levity about this. Grosse Pointe Public School System also confirmed on Tuesday that Fraser and another former student from the same system were killed in the shooting. Third victim subsequently identified by WXYZ Detroit as Arielle Diamond Anderson, 19. Oh man, she was only 19. Who graduated from Grosse Pointe North High School. Why would you deface something? Like, you can lay the flowers like that, but the only reason that there's outrage like that and that there's not pictures of this guy and his name's not running around, because we haven't even heard one thing about the actual shooter so far, and you can guess exactly why that is. Anderson's family told the outlet that she loved children and hoped to be a pediatrician. All of these majors of these kids really not doing all that much to bust any of those stereotypes that men care more about people and women care more about, men care more about things, women care more about people. The confirmation of Anderson's death comes shortly after her aunt, VH1 reality star Chandra Davis, Delicia, I have no idea what that is, who's the winner of Flavor of Love, I know what that is, season 2, posted on social media begging for updates on her niece's condition. Why don't you just call your sibling in order to get updates? As of Tuesday afternoon, 5 other victims remain hospitalized in critical condition. See, I didn't even know about that. All I knew was mass shooting and gun control being pushed again. Makes sense. The identification of the 3 students comes just hours after law enforcement identified the gunman as Anthony Dwayne McRae. McRae, 43, was not affiliated with MSU. His motives remain unknown. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Round of applause for cleaning up the mess afterwards. Her self-inflicted gunshot wound. I'm sorry. No, he didn't wind up there, late Monday. Okay, so he opens fire at Berkeley Hall, killing 2 students, and then 12 minutes later, he takes a leisurely walk over to MSU Union, enters and kills another student, and then McRae flees and heads into East Lansing City. Interesting. So where did he start out and where did he go? But them boys were in there, just ready to wreak havoc in case anything showed up. Officers are investigating a suspicious note with McRae's body that threatened additional attacks on 2 schools in Ewing Township, New Jersey. Interesting. He was threatening more violence, but then he killed himself. Okay. We are all broken by an all too familiar feeling. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said in a heartbreaking press conference Tuesday morning. Words are not enough. We must act, and we will. Are you also going to charge McRae's parents with involuntary manslaughter? Ugh, you tyrant. Yeah, just continue to ban guns until only the criminals have them, you absolute brainlet. But condolences with the family of everybody who's been affected by this. It's absolutely terrible situation, but if you don't want to address the major issue, the real problem in the situation, and you just want to go ahead and skirt responsibility, well, that's on you. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the facts as they're reported. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.